What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Monday. We made it to another Monday. Sorry, I'm a tad bit late, but we got a great show for you because we're talking all about the Connecticut Sun and their possible move to Boston. I'm also going to catch you up on everything that happened over the weekend, from trades to players getting waived to the games that we actually saw on the court. A whole bunch of stuff because Quita in the morning, guys. It starts now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
All right, guys, we got a big show for you all, and let's just get right into it. And we begin with the headline story of today. And guys, let's get into it. And the news that the Connecticut Sun are up for sale. We already knew that, but we got some updates for you. The Connecticut Sun are up for sale, and a powerful group wants to move them to Boston. Now, the question is, will they actually go there? Because the WNBA just kind of threw a wrench into the possible deal. We're going to talk about what's going on here. We're going to talk about why does it feel like every party, from the current owners to the league to the potential buyers, they all knew this day was coming, guys. This is a story of one of the WNBA's most successful franchises possibly being torn away from the fans who built it. Now, let's get into the story. All right, so let's get into the bombshell offer. Bombshell offer that is on the table for the Connecticut Sun. And guys, it's a lot of money. I mean, I think it's a lot of money. I don't know, what do y'all think? I'm curious to hear what you all have to say. As we're talking through this, guys, please be sure to give me your opinions about what's going on, okay? All right, so here's the offer. We're going to start with the headline. Celtics minority owner, Steve Pagluccia. I'm just going to call him Steve for the rest of the stream. He has made a record-shattering $325 million offer to buy the Connecticut Sun. And that's not all, guys. He's also throwing in another $100 million to build a new team practice facility in Boston. Now, the plan is to move the Sun out of Mohegan Sun Arena. And there is an assumption that the team will just end up moving into the TD Garden. However, I have not seen 100% confirmation that is actually going to happen. But the idea is to move the team to Boston by 2027. All right. So yeah, it's a likelihood that they will be playing in TD Garden. However, I don't want to say that 100% because I haven't seen it said 100% that is where they would eventually move to. Now, the price tag of $325 million, that would make this the most expensive sale in women's professional sports history, guys. That'd be huge. And at first glance, guys, this seems like a no-brainer, right? Bigger market, bigger arena, deeper pockets, right? Like, this makes sense, right? Right? Doesn't this make sense? Doesn't this? Well, here's the catch. The WNBA has not approved the sale, and the league's position is kind of crystal clear. Hey, relocation is not up to the teams. It's up to the board of governors for the WNBA. It's not solely up to the Connecticut Sun. It's not solely up to Boston, who wants the team. It's not just a money play. The WNBA board of governors have to answer. They have to say yay or nay to this decision. And while this originally came out and it was seemed like a done deal of, yes, they're moving to Boston. It's actually happening. No, pump your brakes, because what I'm going to systematically walk through in this stream is the various entities and their particular perspective on the situation. And I'm going to throw a wrench in there of another buyer who just came to the forefront, who may be taking this team away from Boston before Boston even gets it. All right. And again, as we go through this, please make sure to share your thoughts and your comments in the chat. Also, guys, please make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. Yeah, so. All right. Let's get into it. All right. So if you all are curious, when I said it's up to the Board of Governors, if you all wondered who in the world is the Board of Governors, who's on the Board of Governors, well, the Board of Governors is a group of Kathy Engelbert, of course, and then team owners. It's a collection of team owners and Kathy Engelbert. All right. So representatives from each team. So yes, the Connecticut Sun does have a representative on the Board of Governors, but it's not just them, right? It's all teams that actually have a say in the matter. All right. But the Board of Governors is led by Kathy Engelbert, who is the league commissioner. Okay. Let's continue on. So, why has the WNBA decided to pump the brakes on this thing? Why have they publicly come out to say, hey, it's not a done deal yet. The Board of Governors has the final say? Well, it's kind of simple. Boston did not apply for a WNBA expansion team during the league's latest open bid, right? They didn't. We saw a bunch of cities, about 9 other cities that were bidding for an expansion team. We saw Nashville get in there. We saw Houston and others, but Boston was not on the list. Boston was saying, you know what, we're not going for an expansion team, right? Ultimately, it was announced that Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia will be slated for the next wave of WNBA teams. And the WNBA ended up putting out an announcement. And they said no groups from Boston applied for a team. That was during the expansion bid process. So no, quote, no groups from Boston applied for a team at the time, and those other cities remain under consideration based on the extensive work they did as part of the expansion process and currently have priority over Boston. The Celtics prospective ownership team has also reached out to the league office and asked that Boston receive strong consideration for a WNBA franchise at the appropriate time. So basically the WNBA is saying, number one, they didn't even apply. They did not apply for a expansion spot. Boston did not apply. And the other teams, including the teams that got it and the teams that got turned down, they have priority over Boston because Boston did not apply, according to the WNBA. Now, this was reported in the Associated Press article. And so, yes, that's something to know. And that's something that I don't think people are talking about, the fact that they did not apply. Okay? Let's continue on. There is the WNBA, with the decision for Boston not to apply for an expansion team, it does seem like the league might actually want to hold out on moving to Boston. They may want to hold out on expansion to Boston, right? The reason why is because the league might want to have Boston go through the process of all of the other possible expansion teams, right? They may want to hold Boston off as a premier expansion market sort of like in the future, potentially, past 2022 and beyond, right? The idea is that a clean expansion bid from Boston, rather than a relocation, could possibly be worth more than the $325 million that they are putting up to relocate this team. All right. And so it could be that, hey, the league may want $500+ million from Boston. Right? Because as you all can see, the expansion fees price continues to go up. We continue to see that thing go up. And yes, it's $325 million more than $250 million that the WNBA is getting from Philadelphia and Cleveland and Detroit. Yes. And also, guys, that number is continuing to go up. So while Boston wants to get this team as a relocation, the WNBA might want to see Boston as an expansion team down the line. And so that's a thing. So maybe the WNBA is going to think about the long-term future, and but that does come with some serious risks. So with that being said, all right. With that being said, let's go through the arguments for the various teams. All right. Let's go through the arguments. So the Connecticut Sun. This is a huge legacy. The Connecticut Sun are not just any team, right? They were the first WNBA franchise to be independently owned. That means they were not tied to an NBA team. This is when the Mohegan Tribe bought the team for $10 million. Now think about how that has changed. $10 million in 2003. And now, possibly, they may be selling for $325 million. Wild. But anyway, they bought the team for $10 million and relocated them from Orlando in 2003. Remember the Orlando Miracle, they were going to fold. They were looking for team buyers, and the Mohegan Tribe stepped up and said, you know what? We envision a great future for women's basketball. So we're going to buy this team. And again, first non-NBA owner of a WNBA team. And so that's kind of cool. All right. Since then, the Tribe has invested in the Connecticut Sun. They've made 4 trips to the WNBA Finals, and they kept women's basketball alive from a pro perspective in Connecticut, especially considering that Connecticut does not have a professional men's team. All right, and now that's a super commendable thing. That's fantastic that the Mohegan Tribe decided to say, you know what? Let me pick up. Let's pick up this team. I think we can do some real good. I think we do see a good vision for the future of women's basketball. Let's get in here. Let's get in the market. They did, and we see what has happened. We got Jen Rosati. I believe she's the current president of the Connecticut Sun. She said, quote, "The Tribe thought that Connecticut would be a great place for the WNBA. And they were right. And they invested in this team in so many different ways before it was popular. Have they gotten passed by? Question mark. Well, yeah. They know, quote from Jen Rosati, quote, they know that in some ways, if you're 22 coming out of college and you're considering your brand and considering your opportunities in a major market, I don't think it's a slight on playing at Mohegan or in Connecticut. But I'm sure there's a preference that they want to be in a market that's bigger and where they'd be able to take advantage of the opportunities presented to them. Basically, guys, Jen Rosati is basically saying, hey, the Mohegan Tribe did invest in this team, right? They invested in this team. They bought this team when this team was about to fold, brought it to Connecticut, and has built this team up. They did invest in this team. Now, is it up to par with how the WNBA is right now? No, it's not. But you can't just say that Connecticut did nothing and that the Mohegan Tribe did nothing. They did. They kept a WNBA team from folding. They, kept the team and invested in it, especially early on. And now 20 plus years later, they may be selling because they have been surpassed by other teams in the WNBA. All right. And so we have Connecticut, a team that has a legacy of success, despite the fact that they lost their coach from last year to this year. They lost their starters from last year to this year. And they had a painful rebuild season ahead this season. The team sold out of its season tickets for the first time in franchise history. It's showing that growth is here. It's showing that loyalty is a thing in Connecticut. Because when we talk about the Connecticut Sun, yes, do they have the biggest of arenas? No, they don't. But they also have a bunch of loyal fans, right? There was an article I read by the Hartford. I forgot the name of the actual publication, but it's in Hartford, and they interviewed some fans about just their thoughts about expansion and whatnot. And there was a particular story that I want to talk about real quick because I thought it was very awesome. Like, it's called the Hartford Current. That's the name of the publication. They interviewed two fans, and I want to talk about those two fan stories. We got Jenny Tarici, who says that, hey, this is not Connecticut Sun basketball is not just basketball. It is her heart in a lot of ways. She's been attending Connecticut Sun games since she was a teenager. She's had a lot of medical issues, and the players for the Connecticut Sun over the years have inspired her. They've lifted her up, and now she's in her 30s, and she says that the team was and is her lifeline, her summer lifeline. She says, if they weren't here, I probably wouldn't be here. And that's a kind of connection that doesn't just show up on valuations or market sizes because, yes, the Connecticut Sun fan base is small. Yes, the market is small, but fans of the Sun really care and really would be devastated, I should say, if the team moves to Boston. But and then we have, like Jenny is saying, hey, if they leave, I might just stop watching. Right? But then we have other fans who, yes, are still huge fans and would be very disappointed, but they are understanding, like current season ticket holder Christine Patz, who says, quote, my feeling is the tribe was supportive. The tribe was supportive when nobody else was. So if they're getting a financial return after 20 years, then good for them. She also said, quote, the tribe put money into a basketball team when nobody cared. So if they make a 300% profit or whatever it is on this, good on them. A pair of season tickets were cheap back in the day. Now I think one seat is about $1,300, and I was willing to pay that. All right, so we have lots of different fan perspectives about this situation. Now, let's move on. Let's talk specifically about Boston and their case for a team. All right, so Boston. they have a huge case to make to have the ability to relocate this team to Boston permanently. The Sun have already played 2 games at TD Garden in recent years, both this year and last year. And both games had a boatload of fans. I believe like over 19,000 fans were there, packing out the arena. This is double the capacity of Mohegan Sun Arena. We have a lot of people backing a relocation to Boston, including Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey, who was a former basketball player, which I didn't know that. It was really cool of her to be a basketball fan, and not just a fan, but also a former player. She is calling the potential relocation great for the WNBA, and she does not want to wait. She's like, hey, we should not have to wait until 2033 to get a WNBA team, which possibly could be the waiting process if Boston does not get allowed to have this new team, or this relocated team, I should say. All right. And man, why? And so everybody wants me to move on. Come on now. I spent so long trying to get this thing together. Jeez. Okay, I promise we will get to the Satou Sablu news. I promise y'all we will get to it, okay? Okay. And we'll get to the games that happened yesterday as well. Okay? All right. Let me just get through the rest of this thing, okay? Let me get through the rest of this. All right. Okay. Anyway, y'all got me losing track of where I'm going. Here's the thing, guys. I know that we all want the salacious stuff. However, I just want to make sure that everyone's informed about what's happening in Connecticut, in Boston, and I'm trying my best to give you all as much information as possible. So yeah, I'm trying. All right. Anyway, let's go on. So, from Boston's perspective, and from Steve P's perspective, this is not a hostile takeover. This is a natural evolution to Boston getting a WNBA team. They want to invest in women's basketball. They want to bring women's basketball to the heart of New England and ride the momentum of a league that has never been hotter. Plus, they're not trying to erase the past. They've talked about the efforts of the Mohegan tribe for pioneering, independent ownership of WNBA teams, and they want to honor that legacy and continue to grow the fan base of the Connecticut Sun in Boston. But the difference is Connecticut fans do not want a quote-unquote legacy, guys. They want a team. And so it's an interesting battle between what the Mohegan tribe wants, which is to sell the team to possibly to Boston. What Boston wants, which is to relocate the team, and what Connecticut Sun fans want in terms of keeping the team preferably in Connecticut. Now, we have a wrinkle in this whole thing. We got a wrinkle, guys, because I love when a story has a random plot twist, and this story has that. Because Mark Lassery has entered the chat, guys. Just when it seemed like Boston might be on track to win the bid to relocate the team to Boston, well, a surprise challenger has emerged. In this corner, we have Boston. In this corner, we have Connecticut. Yes, the team might actually be staying in Connecticut. Guys, because with a surprise challenger bid, billionaire Mark Lassery he's the former owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, is leading a group that wants to keep the Connecticut Sun in Connecticut. Did y'all hear about that? You know, I was trying to build up, guys, to this moment, right? Their offer is said to rival the Boston one with a amount that exceeds $300 million. Right? So Mark Lassery, he's like, I got money. I have deep pockets. Okay? So we don't know the exact number of their offer, but we do know, according to the Hartford Courant, we do know that it is more than $300 million. All right? And it includes a brand new dedicated practice facility, and that's something that the Connecticut Sun currently do not have. Their proposed home would be moving to Hartford, and they'd be playing at the People's Bank Arena in Hartford, formerly known as the XL Center. So y'all probably recognize the XL Center name, which, to be real, is not a glamorous NBA facility, but it is still in Connecticut, and the arena can hold 16,000 plus fans, and it is home to the UConn men's basketball team, and would preserve the legacy and the loyal fan base that has built the Connecticut Sun brand to where it is right now. The Mohegan Tribe's exclusivity window to sell to Boston has expired. Okay? That's key to know. Which means that both offers, the Boston offer and the Hartford offer, are now officially on the table. And guys, here's the wildest part. The wildest part is that the WNBA has the power to force the sale to the in-state group if they want. If they say no to relocation, well, Boston offer could vanish. We'll see. So that's the story, guys. That's the story. I wanted to just walk through it with y'all. I know. Some of y'all don't actually care, but I wanted to cover it because I think it's important. So I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you with my opinion about this whole thing. We'll get to y'all's and then we'll move on. Okay. Let's be honest, guys. In my opinion, this kind of feels like everyone knew this day was coming. So let's rewind real quick. The Sun did not just randomly decide to host a few games in Boston. 2 games that they sold out. They tested the water in Boston. They saw the fanfare, and you don't just run that kind of random decision to say, hey, you know what? We're going to have 2 games somewhere else. You don't do that, in my opinion, if you're not looking for an exit. I believe that, that the Mohegan Tribe have been planning an exit for years now. And that the decision to connect with, have these games in Boston was part of that. Part of that exit strategy that they had a long time ago. Now, Boston did not put in an expansion bid during the league's open window. The reason why is probably because they knew this door might open instead. They figured, likely, that Connecticut was going to sell. And if they're going to sell, it makes the most sense to sell to us. So instead of doing something straight from scratch, let's just not put in a bid and let's just relocate when the time comes. And the WNBA, well, let's just say, let's not pretend and say that they didn't see this too. They did, I think. And we also see that expansion fees are ballooning. The price from Golden State to getting a team to Toronto to Portland to the newest 3 teams that just joined the WNBA. If Boston gets a team through relocation, the league might be missing out on a potential payday. So, or as big of a payday as they might get in 2033, 2035, something like that. So, of course, it could make sense for the WNBA to possibly stall and keep Boston in their back pockets. In other words, this could be just overall the plan all along. The Tribe will eventually cash out. Boston may end up playing the long game. You know, the league wants to protect expansion value and wants to increase that. And now maybe it's a chess match of sorts. Maybe. Because here's what's at stake. Here's the gamble. If the league blocks this move from Connecticut to Boston, well, Steve, the potential owner of this Boston team, Steve P, and his deep-pocketed group might sit out. They might wait for 8 to 10 years to get a team. Or they might just say, you know what, this is too much. We're taking our ball and going home. We're taking our $325 million and we're walking home. Maybe. Or if the WNBA accepts the offer and Boston gets a team in 2027, it's a question for the Connecticut Sun fans. Will fans just walk away? Or will they follow the team to Boston and still support them there? Because the question I have, and the question I'm wondering, what happens to loyalty when money talks? What happens? I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you all have to say about that. All right, that is the story. I'm done. Anything you all have to say? And also those last like, couple minutes, that was all my opinion. So early on, I told y'all the facts, and then what I just recently just said was my opinion. So, y'all make of it what you will. I think everybody knew that this was happening. This was going to come to a head. And so, yeah. Anyway. All right. That's the story. That's the story. Now, guys, I know what y'all want to talk about. Okay? So, let's get to it. All right. And guys, let's spend some time doing a quick dive into the games that happened this weekend, and we'll get to the Satou Sabally of it all. Okay? Nope. We're not doing buying or selling right now. All right, and also, guys, truly, I know that part of what I see in this channel, part of my role I see is to not only cover the stuff that's happening, the salacious stuff that's happening, right? The stuff that people make 20,000 views off of by putting it in the title, sure. But to me, the most important thing is to make sure that everybody's informed and make sure everybody knows what's going on. And that Boston potential story was just that. So sure, is it the easiest thing to listen to? Probably not. Will people watch this stream? Probably not in the bigger numbers if I would have had in the title, where is Satou going? So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyway, let's quickly go through the games that happened this weekend, and then we'll move on to the Sabally thing, okay? All right. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to still figure out my role here, and it seems like what I do, not most people are not actually interested in, and so it's a question mark of like what happens now, Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the games that happened on Friday. We saw a boatload of basketball games on Friday. We saw basically nothing on Saturday, and then we saw a boatload of games on Sunday. Why in the world is the Chicago Sky Still. Why are they why the Chicago Sky? Why is Chicago Sky still losing 2-1? And then 2, why does the WNBA still have these crazy timings for games? It's ridiculous. Anyway, we first saw on Friday, we saw the Mercury lose to the Atlanta Dream. Now, guys, this was a game that I was personally not expecting. We were in Atlanta. The final score of the game was 95 Atlanta, 72 for Phoenix. And there was a question mark of what in the world is going on with the Mercury. The Mercury had, at that point, they had been on a losing streak. And most importantly, guys, confusion when it comes to the Phoenix Mercury. As we saw, Satou only play 12 minutes in that game. 12 minutes. She got benched. And there was a question mark of, okay, what is brewing in Phoenix? What's going on? We'll circle back to that in just a bit. Okay, we also saw the Connecticut Sun. Yes, that Connecticut Sun that we were just talking about. The team that has only won, at that point, 4 games, now 5 games on Friday, as they beat the defending champs, New York Liberty. That was a surprise. Tina Charles went off. It was glorious to see. 78 Connecticut Sun, 62 the New York Liberty. We also saw the Golden State Valkyries take on the Chicago Sky in Chicago. I was there. And we ultimately saw the Valkyries get the job done. We saw 10 threes made by the Golden State Valkyries. 6 of those threes made by post players. Their kick out passes to the 3-point shot. Oh, it was glorious to see. 73 Valks, 66 Chicago Sky. We also saw the Indiana Fever walk into Dallas and take care of business. The final score of that game was 88 Indiana Fever, 78 Dallas Wings. We also saw the highlight of the day, the battle out in the Pacific Northwest. We saw the Seattle Storm at home take on the LA Sparks. And guys, we went to 2 overtimes. It was a neck and neck battle throughout, but in the end, we did see the LA Sparks get the job done. And once again, I am thoroughly impressed with the work of Rickea Jackson. She is having a phenomenal sophomore season, and no one's really talking about her. 27 points for Rickea Jackson. 9 rebounds, almost a double-double. She was on her big one on Friday, and it wasn't just her, guys. Azurá Stevens, Dearica Hamby, 21 points apiece. We saw Kelsey Plum with 22 points. This was a great showing for the LA Sparks. And guys, that was a game. Nneka Ogwumike had 37 points, but it didn't matter. It did not matter, guys, because the LA Sparks were getting it done. And yes, Tulip, Rickea Jackson is clutch. All right, so those are the games that happened on Friday. Now, let's quickly move on to the one game that happened on Saturday, and that was a complete and utter blowout as the Minnesota Lynx took down the Las Vegas Aces. The final score of that game was 111 Minnesota Lynx, 58 Las Vegas Aces. Yes, I did say a final score of 58. That is wild. Very, very wild, gotta say. In that game, basically the Aces couldn't do anything. The Aces were terrible in that game. Absolutely terrible. And the Minnesota Lynx just systematically took them down. We did see a horrible note in this game. Napheesa Collier went down in the third quarter. Now, at the time she went down, the Minnesota Lynx were killing the Aces. And there was a question mark of, should Napheesa have even been in the game? Well, Cheryl Reeve had her in the game, and she went down. Looks like she severely twisted her ankle. We're not totally sure about when she's going to return. She did not return for the rest of that game, but yeah. Anyway, that's a huge thing for the Minnesota Lynx. If Napheesa Collier is out for a significant period of time, that severely hurts Minnesota's chances to actually win a championship. Okay, but that was a huge thing. But also, guys, in the first half, I should really say, we saw a personal clinic done by by the awesomeness of Kayla McBride. I think she went at one point 8 for 8 from the three-point line. She was insane in the membrane, especially in that first half, guys. It was really, really awesome to see. Ultimately, the Minnesota Lynx get the largest road win in league history. Again, final score 111-58. Wild, wild, wild game. And yeah, that was something. Then we move on to Sunday, where early Sunday we see some breaking news come up. Breaking news, massive trade in the WNBA. Now, I went through that trade yesterday. I did a live stream about it. So if y'all want to go into detail about that, well, just watch. Just watch it from yesterday. Okay? But I got to talk about just real quick, the trade that happened. We saw the Minnesota Lynx receive Dejanay Carrington in a trade, and in return, they sent Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and the second round pick in the 2027 draft to Dallas. Okay? That was a trade. And to make way for that trade, Dallas had to waive Tierra McCowan. So Tierra McCowan is out of the W. Diamond Miller is with the Minnesota Lynx. Carly Samuelson is also with the team, but remember, she's out for the season because of injury. So yeah, they have the rights to her. And they have that 2027 second round pick. And in return, the Minnesota Lynx get Dejanay Carrington, someone who's going to come off the bench and give them really good defense and give them some offensive buckets as well. All right, so that happened early on Saturday. What else happened on Saturday? Well, we saw a boatload of other games that took place yesterday. And let's just quickly talk about it real quick. Okay, we doing a quick dive into these games, and then we're gonna get to the Satou Sabali of it all. We saw the New York Liberty take on the Connecticut Sun. The final score of that game was 87 New York Liberty, 78 Connecticut Sun. And Connecticut, they once again they did play a really good game. They tried their best. Anissa Morrow, I love to watch her play. She has really developed as the season has gone on. Clearly, Rashid Mezian trusts her a lot more than he did early in the season, and that's fantastic to see. She showed up, but ultimately, the Liberty was too much. Emma Miesemann is just getting in the swing of things with the New York Liberty, and that is pretty cool to see as well. And guys, ultimately, New York takes care of business. Sabrina Ionescu just dominates. Guys, she scored 36 points, and basically all those points were get into the bucket and mid-range jumpers. I love to see it. I love to see it from Sabrina Ionescu. Yes, she is a person who can be a three-point assassin at times, but yesterday she did show us that she can do a whole lot more than that. 36 points for Sabrina, and also 11 rebounds. Nothing to sneeze at all. We move on to the other games that happened yesterday. We saw the Atlanta Dream take down the Washington Mystics. The final score of that game was 99-83. We also saw the Indiana Fever take down the Seattle Storm. I was a little surprised about this game, but anyway, Indiana Fever take them down 78-74. It's a very, very close game, neck and neck battle, but ultimately the Indiana Fever get the job done at Climate Pledge Arena. Yesterday, I was there to watch the Phoenix Mercury take on the Chicago Sky. The final score of that game was 86 Phoenix Mercury, 67 Chicago Sky. In that game, we did see the Chicago Sky show a lot of effort in that first quarter, and then it kind of fell over after that. It was over. Satou Sabali was not in attendance. She was out for personal reasons. We don't know exactly what those personal reasons are, but we're going to talk about them in just a sec. Okay. And we also have the Golden State Valkyries, who lost to the Las Vegas Aces. Seemed like Vegas was kind of upset about how terrible they played on Friday. And they were like, you know what? You are not taking us down. We about to dominate. We about to do our job, and we about to go home. So at home, the Las Vegas Aces just destroy the Valks. It is what it is. And it's good to see. Hopefully this helps to jumpstart the Las Vegas Aces, but we'll see. Ultimately, guys, we did see this team being spurred on by Jewell Loyd. Jewell Loyd is someone who has been very inconsistent on the season. She has come off the bench for the last couple of games, including yesterday, and she balled out 27 points for Jewel Lloyd, which is fun to see. And we'll see how that continues on as the season progresses. Okay, so that is your quick fire update on what happened yesterday. All right. So hopefully that was or what happened this weekend, I should say. Hopefully that was cool enough. Now. I want to move on to another topic that you all seem to be really talking about. All right. Let me just pull up this graphic and we'll get to it and we'll move on. And again, guys, if y'all appreciate the content we are doing on this channel, please hit that like button. Please let me know what you like, what you dislike. And I know I saw the message about some of y'all disliking the length of the Connecticut one. I tried to cut it down as much as I could. Like literally the whole show was going to be the Connecticut thing, but yeah. All right. But yeah, that's a thing. All right. Let's move on to the next topic. All right. Kenneth says, quit to drink some water. Quick break. Actually, I should do that. Quick break. All right. We are back. Okay. Now, the question is, what in the world is going on in Phoenix? What is going on in Phoenix? Well, interesting times. On Friday, we saw Satou Sabally barely play against on Friday. And then we saw yesterday against the Chicago Sky, we saw that she was on the injury list. And it said Satou Sabally out. In parentheses, it said personal. What are those personal reasons? We don't know. But what I can say is that the Phoenix Mercury have been struggling. Yes, they do take down the Chicago Sky, but that's not impressive because the Chicago Sky is the Chicago Sky. I mean, what are we talking about? Like, that's not an accomplishment beating the Chicago Sky. Now, as a Sky fan, does that sadden me to say that? Yes, but at the same time, it is what it is. We see this Phoenix Mercury team only win 5 of their last 10 games, right? This is a team that at one point was solidly at that number 3 spot. Now they are starting to slide down. They're starting to slide down. Now they're at number 4, right behind the Atlanta Dream. This Phoenix Mercury team came into this season with a lot of promise, right? A lot of promise. You had this team who already had Kalia Copper. They say farewell to Diana Taurasi, who officially decided to retire, right? They move on from the Brittany Griner era. She goes over to Atlanta. And this team builds with Kalia Copper, right? Ka gets some huge pieces next to her. She gets Satou Sabally, the unicorn, the player who everybody seemed to want in free agency. They got her. They also got Alyssa Thomas, which was huge. So you have your new big 3. You got Ka, you got Satou, you have Alyssa. Whoa. What a big get for this Phoenix Mercury team. Right? You have Nate Tibbetts, who is a coach from who has experience in the NBA, someone who has a lot of potential as being a really good coach in the WNBA. You add in a shooter like a Sammy Whitcomb, right? You add in a lot of rookies that people haven't heard of but are fantastic, right? I'm talking about people like Monica Koa-Makani. I'm talking about Kat Westbeld. You got players like a Lexi Held, Laxka. You have a lot of surprises on your team in terms of players who are turning out to be a really good fit for your team. You bring in Kalani Brown on the team, and you all start to gel. Now, early, you all dealt with a lot of injuries, right? There were a lot of times where Kalia Copper was out, and Satou and Alyssa had to take care of the charge. And then there was a little bit of time when Alyssa was out, and Satou had to kind of do it herself, right? Now the Phoenix Mercury are in a different position, right? They add in DeWanna Bonner, who has joined the team recently. And you would think this team would start rolling, right? They seem like they're finally healthy, right? You got Kai, you got Satou, you got Alyssa. You bring in DeWanna. You already had some really good play. Like you already have, overall really good players, right? In terms of how they function as a team. You're doing your thing, right? Tasha Mack and Kat Westbeld have been like playing off of each other in terms of like who's going to be like the 5 on the team, right? You don't have necessarily a traditional team, but it worked. It was working, but you start to hit a skid. You start to lose some games in a row, and it starts to look like, what in the world is going on in Phoenix, right? There starts to be murmurs about stuff that's happening. Then on Friday, we see one of your big 3, the unicorn. She barely played. And there's a question mark of, okay, what's happening there? Why did Satou not play? Coach's decision. It's a coach's decision on why Satou didn't play. And it's sort of like, okay, all right, well, what's happening with the Mercury? What's happening with Satou? Where is she? Where in the world is Satou Sabally? Okay. Then it comes out that she is out for personal reasons. Where Nate Tibbetts says, quote, "This is a personal matter. She's out for personal reasons and we support her through this time. And we are excited to get her back when she's ready." That's what Nate Tibbetts said on Sunday. Does that sound a little familiar to y'all? It does, right? Because DeWanna Bonner was also out for personal reasons and the team was supporting her, according to what Stephanie White said at the time, right? And we all saw how that turned out, right? It turned out that, on the side, the Indiana Fever were trying to trade DeWanna Bonner, and DeWanna wanted out. And they used the guise of personal reasons and we're going to support her and blah, 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 blah as a ruse in all actuality, it was like they were trying to get her out because she wanted out and they were like, okay, we're trying to trade you. And that didn't work. So with that freshly in my brain, if that wouldn't have happened, I would have been like, okay, well, maybe there's something, maybe something with her family, or maybe there is. Maybe there's something with her family. Maybe there's something like really, really personal that she's going through. Or maybe this is the same thing that happened with DeWanna. We don't know. All right. So this could be a real personal issue, or this could just be a ruse for them trying to get her out. The trade deadline is coming up soon. It's coming up very, very soon. And so, yeah, it's a question mark. It's a huge, 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 huge question mark. But Nate Tibbetts is saying, hey, Satou being out has nothing to do with me benching her. All right? That's what he said. But remember, Satou Sabally did get hurt right before the All-Star break. She did miss a couple of games. She missed the playing in the All-Star game specifically to be healthy for the Phoenix Mercury. And so, it does seem like she is bought in or has been bought into this team. So my natural reaction is to say, truly, maybe there is something personal going on. And I hope that whatever it is, it gets solved so that she can get back to this team and be ready to go. That's my natural inclination. But with what just happened with Duana, I am second guessing myself and saying, well, maybe something else is going on. Maybe something else is going on, and we shouldn't be surprised if there's a trade that happens soon. Speculation, I know. The official story is that she's out for personal reasons and that the team is supporting her and that Nick Tibbetts fully expects her to be back with his team. That's what is being said. And that's my natural thought process as well. However, again, guys, with the stuff that recently happened this year, it makes me wonder, okay, well, what's really the truth? What is the truth? What is the truth? Right? Because on Friday, Satou Sabally did not bring the energy that the Phoenix Mercury needed, right? At least that's what Nate Tibbetts said. He said, quote, "She didn't bring the energy that we needed." That's what he said. Right? And so maybe she's just trying to get herself right, because sometimes when you go through injuries, sometimes it takes a little while. Even though you're healthy, it takes a little while mentally for you to get together. We don't know. So that's all speculation to say that Satou Sabally is out for personal reasons. It seems like it may be indefinitely for a while. We don't know when she's going to return back. There's a question mark of whether or not a trade is in the works that's just trying to get worked through or not. We don't know. But we'll find out soon. Because the trade deadline is this week. So we'll know soon on what exactly is going on. And once again, like I said with the Indiana situation, I'm hoping that some journalist who has boots on the grounds in Phoenix can figure it out and tell us what's going on. All right? Can someone tell us what's going on? Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, that's basically the stream. I want to see what y'all have to say for comments, and then we'll call it quits for today. Thank you so much, CM, for the super chat. Says, continue with Connecticut. This is important. Appreciate it. El Kune, thanks so much for the super chat. Says, it's all love, Quita. We just want to gossip. El Kune, it seems like some of y'all it seems like that's what some of y'all want to do. And I get it. But yeah. I'm trying to be responsive without derailing the purpose of this channel, right? Nancy says, has Satou been injured this year? Yes, she has been in the past, but she was playing well. She was playing well, but she was injured as well. Remember, guys, she did miss a couple of games. I think she was out for like a week or two around All-Star. And she took off for All-Star, didn't play in it. And since she's been back, she has been struggling a little bit, right? She's only been doing around 10 points a game since she's gotten back from her injury. So clearly, and she was averaging like almost 20 points before she got injured. And so clearly part of, it could be that part of this is that she's not fully back yet, right? It could be that, like, yes, even though the doctors say she's healthy, sometimes there's a mental component to it as well. So yes, she's back from injury. However, since she's been back, she has been struggling in terms of her pre-injured self, right? Pre-injured, she's giving him about 20 points a game. After the injury, and she's back, she's giving them like 10 points a game. So like, a significant downturn. She is not as dominant on the court as she was pre-injury. And so, yeah, sometimes it does take a little bit of time to get back from where you were before you got injured. And so, yeah, that is something to note. But yeah, we don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Satou Sabally got traded, and I wouldn't be surprised if she stays with this team. I think it would be fantastic if she stays with the team. Personally, I really like the big three of Kalia, Satou, and Alyssa. The reason why is because they each bring something different to the table, right? Alyssa Thomas is basically the point guard who will get everybody involved and who can take it herself if she wants to. Kalia Copper is someone who can get to the bucket whenever she wants and someone who has a better three-point shot now more than ever. Right? Also, Satou Sabally is the reason why she's called the unicorn is because Satou can do a little bit of everything. 3-pointers, she got that. Mid-range, she got that. Get to the rim, back to the basket, she can do that. She can do a little bit of everything. That's why they call her the unicorn. Right? And so I think it would behoove the Phoenix Mercury to not trade her, assuming she still wants to be on the team. Right? Because if someone does not want to be on the team, then they're likely going to play like it, and then you're going to wish that you got rid of them. Right? So it would behoove the Phoenix Mercury to keep her because I think that's the best chance for Satou. Best chance. Is for Satou to be on the team. Right? But yeah. Carmela says she thinks she's staying. I think she's staying too. That my first mind is that she's staying, and my first mind is that she just is trying to get back pre-injury, or maybe there actually something is happening with her family or something like that. That's my first mind. My second mind is okay. Well, maybe it's a ruse because I was hoodwinked, I was bamboozled about the whole Dewana, Indiana situation, right? And so, yeah. Paula says, Quita, an interesting idea for a fun topic is players' nickname origin stories. Now, that would be fun. That would be so fun. Actually, I should do that. I think that's a fantastic idea. I should do that. I should and I shall do that. It's a great idea. B. Bickman says, the race is not given to the swift and the fast. It is the ones who endure to the end. But yeah, it's in Ecclesiastes, right? It's a Bible verse. Or at least that's a paraphrase of a Bible verse. Anyway. Anyway. All right. Anything else y'all got to talk about? Jally says Satou in Chicago would be a good pickup for this year. No. That wouldn't make any sense. A team would trade for a player like Satou if they were trying to actually win a championship, because she's only on a 1-year deal. Like, why would you, So yeah. Anyway. Anyway. Etarp says Jeremiah. Yeah, it's in Jeremiah too. Like it's also in Jeremiah. But I'm pretty sure it's also in Ecclesiastes as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in there as well. All right. All right. I think that's it. I think that is it. All right, guys. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I don't have anything else to say. We'll see what happens with Satou. We'll see. I mean, if she's getting traded, it's happening soon because the trade deadline is upon us. So, yeah. Anyway. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, please make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. Also, subscribe to the channel. And, yeah. Let's keep rocking and rolling as the awesome people of the internet. As always, thank y'all for rocking with me. Yeah. Here's to hoping that she's okay. Whatever is going on with Satou Sabally, if it truly is a personal thing, let's absolutely keep our prayers up for Satou and whatever is going on. But yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Always remember, guys, that these people are real people. They're real people, real humans. And so while we may speculate and think about what's going on, ultimately, they got real stuff going on. Everything that they do does not revolve around the game of basketball. So if someone's out, it literally could be for personal reasons. It could be that something seriously is going on that we don't know about. It might not be, but it could be. And I'm more inclined to think that that is the case for Satou. So, like, whatever it is, I hope she's okay. But yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thank y'all so much. If y'all could hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell a neighbor, tell a friend that Quita in the morning is happening. Sorry I was a little bit late today, but I will see y'all tomorrow morning on time, 7:15 a.m. 7:15 a.m. for Central, 8:15 a.m. for Eastern. All right, see you on the next one. Till next time, guys. I almost forgot to do my outro. Hold on. Let me find it. And while I'm finding it, guys, a lot of people was making fun of me on Twitter because, like, I guess I'm not cool enough because I didn't know who the girl who made Anxiety, the song, I didn't know who that was. And I literally was like, who is this person? Everybody keeps taking pictures because literally me and my dad, we were sitting there and we're like, who in the world is this person? She came in and everybody was like taking pictures. Everybody was going crazy. I was like, who is that? I don't know who that is. And like no one around me seemed to know who that was either. And so my dad was like, who is that? I was like, I don't know. And so I did what I could do, which is put it on Twitter to say, who is this person? And then it's Dochi. I think that's how you say it, Dochi. And I was like, oh, okay. I've heard the name Dochi. I don't know who that is. I feel like I've heard the name before. And then someone said Anxiety, and I was like, oh, the Anxiety song. The song that just says Anxiety, and it's just like I didn't know, and like some people literally thought I was joking. I wasn't joking. I really didn't know who that was. I really didn't. And so I don't know. I'm not cool. I guess that's embarrassing for me. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought it was. I didn't know who it was, and like and like truly, is that like. I don't know. It seemed like some people were like really upset about that. Like, oh, we know who you are now. It's like, what? I don't know who that is. Is that bad if someone does not know who a celebrity is? Is it? I don't think so. I don't know. Henry says, what do you listen to? Well, I listen to old school gospel. I listen to quartet music. I listen to Christian hip hop. That's pretty much all I listen to. So yeah, I don't know. I'm at games and I hear stuff at games, and that's how I know the songs. Okay, that's how I know the songs is through games, because I don't know who these people are. I don't. I'm not cool. If I ever made y'all think I was a cool person, I'm not. I am myself, and that is all I can be. And if I'm not hip enough for you, sorry, because I don't know who these people are. Like, I'm sure she's a great artist. That Anxiety song, I hear it all the time. Literally, I don't even know the song. But I just hear anxiety, oh, something anxiety. Like it's a song that's very popular. I'm sure she's a very rich lady. I'm sure she cares, not at all, what some random person does not know her. Okay? Because there's a ton of people who know her. So anyway, yeah. I'm when I post stuff on Twitter, I'm not joking. Like, I'm actually dead serious. Okay? That's me. Okay? That's me. And at the end of the day, I'm not changing. Okay? But yeah, I'm not cool. I didn't know who she was. And I'm pretty sure I don't know who most people are. And that's okay. All right? See y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.